Welcome to the stage Horia Niculescu, who's customer engineer at Google.
Hi, hello. I hope everyone can hear me. Can you give me a thumbs up? Anyone? Yay, so many thumbs up. Thank you. And I think that we also have some slides here. Let me get to the next slide, maybe, or not. I can talk. Okay, perfect. Oh, we're already ahead. So what's the deal here? I'll try to be quick, deliver the message really crisp so that everybody gets it. AI, ML, anything, all the hype that's happening right now, they already are commodities, and this means way more pressure on startups than what we had before, right? So let's dig into it and see what that means. Just two words about myself. I'm a customer engineer. What does that mean? In the Google Cloud organization, this means that I help organizations grow by using Google Cloud technology. That's me. I'm specialized in data, AI, and ML, and I'm also specialized in digital native companies. This means startup and companies that were born in the cloud. So the message is nice. AI is transforming our world, and startups are leading the way. But the big question is for how long? Why? Because we go to the next slide, and we have this word. This is an important word, which is commodity. Right? We have so many commodities right now, especially in the tech world, and one of the big things is storage, and then compute, and then data and the ML. Why am I saying this? Why am I saying that these became a commodity? Well, first of all, these are goods that right now can be accessed through one click, a single click. I just open up my laptop, I enter like console.google.com, and bam, that's it. I hit another button and I have my database spin up. I hit another button, I have my models ready to be trained, and three clicks away, I just need to load my data set, and bam, that's it. 1 hour later, I have my models. This is why they became a commodity. Okay, so what's happening? Well, startups usually are pushing the world forward with innovative ideas, exploring some parts that big corporations don't want to, or that they take too long. And my opinion is that era has ended. Okay, is it a bold statement that data and AI and ML is a commodity? Well, we'll see. We'll see. So I want to cover why and what's the impact. Now, the new AI movement, like this is the slide. Sundar Pichai had this really bold statement that AI and ML is as important, or if not more important, than the discovery of fire and electricity. Fire. I really trust his vision. He's a really cool guy when it comes to seeing what's out there. About the fire, maybe. About electricity, maybe. But definitely AI and ML should stay here. Okay, so it's here to stay. We've already seen the market fit. It's there right now. Everybody's working on the cost model and solving these equations of actually squeezing value and making it profitable. Now, great slide. We see this big line over here. Bigger is better, right? It's quite simple. Large models, right? A lot of parameters. This is for LLMs. This means that across the year, we've launched the transformer. We've put it out there as open source, and bam, from there it was takeoff. Now, does this help me sustain my idea that the AI and ML are commodities? Definitely yes. You've already seen the boom with all of the startups that are appearing right now that are using this kind of technology. So let's move forward. Now, another thing, every company will compete in a data and AI-driven world, and that's a fact, right? We have there 400 billion in value, and that's the size of the data and AI market in 2024. We're not saying it. There are a lot of sources that help us say that. But then again, only 24% of the companies have created a data-driven culture. What does that mean? It's a void. It's a void that will be filled in an accelerated way. And what's happening if companies will fill this void with the data-driven culture? Well, it will make it harder and harder for startups to make the difference because right then we will have a very large, critical mass coming from the large corporations. Okay, it's not yet the end of the world, but then again, we should focus there on data and AI-driven world. Paradigm shift. Let's see what's happening here. Another thing, Every company will become a technology company. It doesn't mean that you're smelting iron or that, I don't know, you're producing, you're manufacturing parts, car components. Definitely all of the companies will become technology companies. We see there that, again, there's a lot of potential in the market. Once we made this step and we've transformed the large corporations into data-driven companies. Okay? This again helps us understand first the commodity movement is here to stay and it will just cement, and then again the pressure will continue. Now, what about, so this is from us, right? The ones that are providing this towards society and towards customers. But then again, what do customers want? Well, right now, everybody expects the technology to be eloquent, right? It needs to be simple, to be intuitive. Like customer support, technology, finance services, everything right now needs to be intuitive. When I open my app and I try to send 100 euros to my friend, I want it to be in 3 clicks, not 5. I don't want to fill any statement. I just want, hey, here, take it. Now, okay, so we've seen that we have this pressure. We've seen that customers, users get really, really well used to this technology. What about enterprises? So what about these big companies? What do they have to say in this? Well, they have a lot of fields where they can expand. Usually these fields were there to be covered by startups. They found the niche, they found the need in the market that was not covered previously, and they moved fast, right, to cover that. Right now, with all the technology that we have, simplifying the access to technology and simplifying, applying this technology in the real world, most of these use cases are harder and harder to penetrate by startups. Why? Because the technology enables that. Okay. And now comes the big question. We have startups, we have great ideas, and then we want to raise money. And I'm also covering the role of mentoring with some of the startups in Google Cloud for Startups, and I'm also advising startups. And whenever I'm engaged in these discussions, big funds kick in and say, okay, that's a great idea. But then again, when are you going to, like this happens in the last 1.5 months, not me, but when doing the due diligence and helping with responding to the due diligence, I've seen so many times this idea, what's your foundational model and where are you going to train it? And I'm like, hey, if you're not going to put on software as a service, right, in your startup, in your startup mission, then you don't need these foundational models. Even so, people are asking for it. Why? Because they are hot. So how are we going to defend this, right? Let's move it. One formula to build a value-based solution. It's one of the formulas. There are multiple ones, but let's start with this. We have the idea, right? And the idea, think of something that will bring value to individuals and, like improve society. That's great. We all have ideas. Then fetch the data just to be able to train some models in order to build a solution, in order to have a great user experience and put it out there. That's great. Moving forward, the idea. My God, everybody, that's, hey Bard, that's the solution from Google. Everybody I've heard here, like ChatGPT. Well, hey Bard, tell me something. We have a lot of ideas. Not only that, but we are very smart people, so we have a lot of ideas. Then what about the models? Hey, Google, build me this. My God, we have the technology right now that helps us expedite the development process 10x, 20x, 100x. Why? Because we have tools that build the code for us. Of course, we still need to be there, but this, again, slowly but surely will become a commodity. It's not yet right now because we don't have too many players in the market, but in 6 months we'll talk, and I will state boldly that coding is a commodity. Then again, the solution, right? Like building the solution, putting it together. Hey, Bart, write me something. Help me write something. And then, of course, user experience, hey, Bart, help me with. And here you'd have the sounding board to have this chat experience like. We're missing something there, right? If everyone can do it, okay, not everyone. If almost everyone can do it, what does make a solution special? And in this case, is the data. You cannot fake the data. You need it, right? If you can build right now a model with AutoML, you literally need like 7 clicks. I've made this bet during one of my demos, and it took 7 clicks to build a model, a forecasting model with AutoML once we had the data somewhere in cloud storage. So once we have everything, we need data. And that's the key differentiator. So whenever we're doing this AI defensibility, right? Okay, we may have like a really cool model that nobody has right now, but maybe in 1 month or 2 months, that will be really hard to defend at the speed of which the things evolve right now. And the ideas, the solutions, the user experience, everything can be covered, less the data. So my advice right now is focus, focus, focus on gathering the data and making that your primary defense against what's happening out there, because the data makes the difference. Okay. Now, how do we collect the data? That's the key point. We have so many sources of data. And here it comes responsible AI. And I've broken it down in like three things. Security, definitely, my God, if we're going to bring this data, we're going to make it first-party data, it's ours, we have the responsibility for it, then my God, it needs to be secure, or else it's a ticking time bomb. Now, what about everything else? Well, of course, we also need to be aware of what's happening around us, right? So then again, I'm talking about the environment, I'm talking about how we're collecting it, I'm talking about being fair, representing the entire population, etc. How are we doing it? I'm taking a step back. How are you doing it at Google? Well, we've launched these AI principles again as an open source for everybody to follow, at least to be inspired by. We live by these rules, and this is one of the first steps that we need to take. We need principles in our from day one. Why? Because we have the data, and then we have the models which can present really high biases. Okay, taking a step back, how are we going to do that? Again, even for this responsibility, there are tools, right? We just need to implement the due diligence and the governance, because tools that are out there, this is why I'm saying that technology right now is a commodity. You name a property, you name a process, you name something inside your organization, definitely there will be a tool easily accessible, 3 clicks away, that helps you with this. So with this, I draw the line and I reiterate my message. When it comes to startups, we really need to focus on what differentiates us. Right now, with all the crazy things that are going on, models are not the things to focus on because they became a commodity, everybody has access to them, and we need to focus on data. Why? Because in the last 60 years, out of the top 500, Fortune 500, 90% of the organizations either died, merged, or shrank. So 90% of those are no longer present. Why? Because they could not keep up with this. And just because I have a very small time left, one of the cool examples that I want to bring is Bloomberg. They have like a lot of data, right? For the last 40 years, all of their materials, they have it as first-party data. And I think that like 3 weeks ago, they've announced that they've launched their own LLM, which was trained mostly on their data, of course, and also some data outside. And this is the perfect example that shows that a really large player in the market moved so fast, way faster than most of other startups, and they are up to speed with the technology and with the trend. And this again puts even more pressure on the startups, and we need to start with the data. So that's my pitch. I think that we have 1 minute for questions, if there are any questions in the room. If not, I hope this was useful. So thank you very much.